Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Cape May's Historic Preservation Commission on November 24th, 2025. It is 6 o'clock on the button. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. If any member has reason to believe that this meeting is being held in violation of this act, they should state so at this time. Hearing none, if you could join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So before we begin, I'd like to welcome our newest commissioner, Judy Decker. Welcome, Judy. Lauren, do we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Here.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stridick?
Here.
Mr. Stevenson? Ms. Decker?
Here.
Mr. Hammeran?
Here.
Mr. Kurtz?
Okay. So Judy, welcome again, has been issued, or has taken her oath of office. Chris, do you have any comments about this?
We accepted it in writing, and Judy's certified her oath in writing, and we have that on file with the board secretary. So she is ready to act tonight.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, that makes it official.
Glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, at our last meeting, we tabled the meeting minutes from the September 15th meeting. You've all received a copy of those from Lauren via email. Hopefully you've had a chance to review them. Yes? Yes. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes, please.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Pisagno, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stridick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Abstain.
Mr. Hammeran?
I'm sorry?
It was your name.
Mr. Testa?
Abstain.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Okay, we also have minutes from October 20th meeting, also have been given to all of you for review. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes as well, please.
I'll move.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Hammeran. Roll call vote, please, Lauren.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stridick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Abstain.
Mr. Hammeran?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Abstain.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. We also have a payment of a bill to our solicitor dated November 5th that you've all received and reviewed. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this payment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Wilson-Stridick, seconded by Mr. Hammeran. Roll call vote, please, Lauren.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stridick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammeran?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. We also have 4 resolutions for confirmation this evening. Kindry and Kerwick at 830 Washington Street, Resolution 2025-42. ACTG Holding, LLC, 909 Corgi Street, Resolution 2025-43. Haviland at 1317 New York Avenue, Resolution 2025-44. And Cottage at 37 LLC, 37 Jackson Street, Resolution 2025-45. I'd like to entertain a motion to confirm these resolutions.
I will move that.
Second?
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Ms. Wilson-Stridick.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson-Stridick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Abstain.
Mr. Hammeran?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Abstain.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. And we have a nice long list of applications approved and denied in review. The review committee's been pretty busy. You're all welcome to come and see us on Tuesday mornings. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve these applications that have been previously approved and denied in review by our subcommittee.
So moved.
Do we hear a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Ms. Pasagno, seconded by Ms. Wilson Stridick. Roll call vote, please, Lauren.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes, I'm abstaining on ORM at 701 Columbia Avenue.
Ms. Pasagno,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Stridick,
Yes.
Ms. Decker,
Abstain.
Mr. Hammerand,
Yes, abstain on Wadley, 1023 Washington Street.
Mr. Testa,
Yes.
Mr. Becker,
Yes, except for Unangst at 1109 Washington Street. I need to abstain due to proximity. Okay, so moving on to the part of the meeting where we hear applications. Before we do, you may recall that at the beginning of this year, we held a series of alignment workshops between all of us as commissioners, and we aligned around what the real purpose of our work here is at its core. So I'd like to ask Judy, if she would please, to share that to sort of set the tone for the evening.
My pleasure. The purpose statement for HPC's work is to serve as a catalyst for guiding and valuing Cape May's historical, cultural, and natural resources in ways that inspire and unite our community to steward these resources for the benefit of all, so that present and future generations can continue to express the unique quality of life we share in this place we love.
Yes, in this place we love. Thank you. Okay, so our first application is the City of Cape May on Howard Street, Harbor Lane, Virginia Avenue, Reading Avenue, et cetera, for the sewer main laterals, et cetera. If you
Good
could
evening,
please
everyone.
State your name and your role in the project, Mr. Dietrich.
Paul Dietrich, City Manager and City Engineer for Cape May City.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Back again to review a upcoming road and utility project. This is for our fiscal year 26 application to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank to receive essentially grant funding to replace and upgrade some of our water and sewer infrastructure. The four streets, as Mr. Becker previously said, we're looking at a portion of Howard Street, portion of Harbor Lane, Virginia Avenue, and Reading Avenue. And one of the questions I usually get is, well, how did we pick those streets? Well, the city back about in 2022 instituted a comprehensive study on different areas and did videoed a lot of the sewer pipes to verify and look at their condition, and then the engineer created a priority list. So we look at, when we're going to try to do roadway work, where can we improve both our infrastructure undergrounds, because there's no sense paving the roads on top if the infrastructure underneath is in bad condition. The other areas that we try to prioritize are water mains that might have lead service line connections to them so that we can be in compliance for the DEP and EPA mandate by 2031 to have all of our lead service lines replaced. So this is essentially our next batch of roads that we're looking at to get funding for. And then the next question you're probably asking, well, why am I here at the HPC about replacing pipes underground that nobody will see? Well, because we're receiving state funding and it's a project, the DEP requires the State Historic Preservation Office to review the application, and any application that the city has where the city is making an application, they want the recommendation and comments from you on whether or not it meets the requirements. So here we are to replace infrastructure beneath the ground. We'll obviously be repaving the road, replacing some sidewalks. I don't believe there's any detriment to the historic district. And I don't believe any of these roads have slate or brick, though there might be an occasional spot. We are over on Howard, so there might be something where we would have an impact. Most of that would be just, if we find it and we disturb it, we just reset it back in place. So to any extent, that would be the greatest extent that we would have, but we would have no intent on removing any slate or brick sidewalk or curb from the district.
Thank you, Mr. Dietrich. So instead of going around the room, does any Anybody have any questions for our city engineer?
You're confirming, Paul, that you're doing sidewalks and that is part of the streetscape, but you're not touching any buildings.
Correct. We're not touching any buildings.
No buildings are affected,
Correct.
and those sidewalks and curbs and et cetera, you're putting back to cover over what you find.
Correct. And really, the only place that we'd be touching them is where the service connection would be going from the main into the home that would be servicing that. So you're looking at real limited disturbance even in those instances.
So I only have one question. Do you know of any trees that will have to be removed in order to?
I don't believe so,
Implement this
because
work?
most of the utility infrastructure is set away from the trees, so we usually don't have to get involved in the trees.
Great, but if so, we just need to go before the Shade Tree Commission, that's all.
Yes.
Yep.
Of course.
Any other questions?
Seems to me that and as you know from all the other times you're here, the projects that are taken on by the city are subject not to approval by this commission, but to receive an advisory report. So I will move that the HPC issue a favorable advisory report on the submitted application.
I will second that.
Okay, so moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Could I have a roll call vote, please, Lauren?
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Bisagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Stridig?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest
All
of
the
your
work
evening.
that's going on at Ocean and Washington.
Washington Street.
Is that just a widening of the sidewalk?
We're just widening the sidewalk, but we're also going to add an additional bench there and create the same retaining wall that was there around the bench.
Yeah.
We're going to extend that down to have a seating wall similar to what was done down at the Cove. So it'll be a brick with a bluestone cap, but we're going to add a secondary bench there. The residents at Victoria Tower as well as MAC had kind of requested that just to kind of increase the seating and separation between Victoria Towers and the city public space.
Thank you. Good
You're
move.
welcome. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. You too. Okay, so next project on our applications list is, hopefully I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Ryan. There is an error in the agenda. It is not 824 Washington Street, it's 824 Kearney Avenue. So do we have a representative of this project? Please come up and join us.
Which one is this now?
It's Carney. It's this.
Carney?
Yeah, it's Byron.
Good evening.
How are we?
We're great. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. It's always a beautiful drive down here.
Oh, if you could please. It's a beautiful place. If you could state your name, please, and what your role of the project is, and your address.
Absolutely. Sealtiel Carrizosa Lopez. I am the representative for Trinity Solar, and I live in 7204 Fernwood Avenue, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Could you just spell your name for me? I'm sorry.
Sure. Sealtiel, first name, last name Carrizosa hyphen Lopez. I didn't pick it.
know,
I was given it to me.
I have a hyphenated last name too. So.
And please accept my apologies. I probably won't be able to repeat that. Yeah.
And
I go
you're-
by
you're-
teal. Like
Teal.
the color.
Teal.
Teal.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, like
Thank
the
you, Teal.
cockatiel bird.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Teal.
And you're the representative of Trinity
Trinity
Solar?
Solar, yes.
And you, sir,
George Ryan, R-Y-O-N.
could you please hit your button?
Look for
That
the
needs to be
green
green.
Make
press
sure
that
it's
button.
green down
Yep.
there.
There we go.
There you go.
George Ryan, 824 Kearney Avenue, R-Y-O-N.
Thank you. So before I turn the presentation over to you guys, I would just like to introduce one issue, because this will come up 3 times tonight. We have 3 submissions for photovoltaic installations. I just want to make it very clear that our design standards speak very clearly to this on page 51 by saying that solar technologies are not appropriate for all roof surfaces in historic district. In other words, minimally or not visible locations may be considered. So that then requires us to look at page 12 in our standards, which defines minimally visible as able to be seen but does not call attention to itself or detract from significant architectural features of the building. So with that as an introduction, the floor is yours.
Hello, yes. Yes, at this location, we meet all those standards. You will not see any of our systems. You won't see our inverter, nothing.
So where are the inverters and the line sets?
The inverter is going to be located next to his meter box, which is actually in an enclosed section on his back porch. So you can't see it even if you walk down his garden.
Okay, so I think I can kind of cut to the chase here, if you don't mind, everybody.
No, please do.
Yeah, I went and took a good look at all of these sites today, and what's really quite remarkable about how you've placed these is not in any way visible from Kearney, or from Stockton, or from, what's the side street to the? Jefferson. So they're completely not visible, not only not minimally visible, not visible, so I congratulate you.
Thank you. Yes, he made sure we did that when we were designing the system for his house.
So, does anybody on the commission have any questions for these gentlemen?
No, I mean, I think our perception is, and the representation is that they're not visible, and you've confirmed that, because that's really the primary standard.
Absolutely.
So not visible does it for me.
So I would like to go ahead and move to approve this application.
I'll second that.
Moved by Mr. Becker, seconded by Ms. Wilson Stridick. We have a roll call vote, please. Lauren?
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Bisagno,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Stridick,
Yes.
Ms. Decker,
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand,
Yes.
Mr. Testa,
Yes,
Mr. Becker.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
it's pretty quick.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yes,
Yeah.
quick and effective. That's how we like
Long
it.
drive for 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Thank you. Next application, similarly, is for a solar panel installation by Harner at 1215 Washington Street. If you could please state your name and your address and your role in the project, please.
Isaac Crum, 739 McCormick Drive, Toms River, New Jersey,
Okay?
08753. And I'm a representative of Trinity Solar.
Do you know that guy? Yeah, sorry. You're both from Trinity, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay, great.
Could I get the spelling of your last name, sir?
CRUM.
C-R-U-A.
UM.
U-M?
M.
And the first name was Isaac, right?
Isaac. ISAAC.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Harner, 1215 Washington Street.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Should a member of the tennis club recuse himself who's not on the board or anything?
This is not for the tennis club.
Not
yet.
yet. That's the next one.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
When it
I'm
comes
getting
to-
ahead.
Yeah, you are.
It's okay. This is across the street in a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
If Tom's voting no, he can recuse himself.
With your luck, he'll
Putting
he'll
it out
abstain.
there. So this project, again, I believe meets the criteria that you guys would like, aesthetically obscure from the front of the street. I don't believe anything would be visible. Now, his electric meter is on the front side of the home, on the right-hand side.
Side.
Yes, on the side of the home. And that is where the inverter typically goes, but it would be minimally invasive, I would believe, but that's up to the discretion of you guys.
Okay. Any comments from folks on the commission? Instead of going around the room, questions, comments for these folks?
I am just a little bit concerned that some.
Kevin, could you please press your button?
I am just a little concerned that some of those might be visible from the street. It would be the, on the drawing P1, sheet PV2. If you look at the drawing carefully, you'll see R5. So the front peak of the roof slopes down and back, and then this is on the side of the roof of the addition on the back. So if I look at R5, it strikes me that the two panels by themselves at the very rear that might be visible from the street, I think that could solve itself by putting them on the other side of the roof, because the others, I believe, would be pretty well hidden by the peak.
So I also went and took a very close look at the property. And it's interesting because Kevin is correct depending on which orientation you subscribe to, I'll call it from the southwest. The 6 panels that are on this back wing right here are actually highly visible from the street. And the reason, of course, is because the distance between your home and the adjacent home is almost as if it were an empty lot. So unfortunately, those do not meet our criteria. From Lafayette Street, they're also quite visible. However, the other panels, the 9 that are on the main slope of the roof, facing essentially north, are only just barely visible through one small window between 2 houses. I took a few photos today, so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I'm wondering if there's a way that you would be able to install more of the panels with the group of 9 to try and get at least close to the kilowatt output that you're seeking. Oh. Isaac, that
I'm not
question
the
is being
solar guy.
deferred to you.
So you're talking about on the R4 roof design,
The R4.
to put more of the panels there?
Yeah, the R4 is perfectly fine. Again, just that one tiny little window, just briefly between 2 houses on Lafayette. But unfortunately, the R5 are quite visible from Washington Street. And the slope of that roof is quite steep, so they're even more visible due to that
Now,
slope.
do you feel if 2 of the top upper panels were left on that threshold, that would create a problem in moving the other 4 to the R4?
Unfortunately not. So if you take a look at at least this one photo that I have, this is actually taken from Lafayette, that slope is quite steep. It's probably 12 and 12, I'm guessing. I didn't look at did you calculate that? Probably did, right? Because you have to create the bracts for them, but it's very steep. So therefore, because of this large space between your house, if you're facing your home, and the one to the left, it's almost as if there's a full open lot there, which means those 6 panels depicted in section of roof R5 are highly visible from Washington Street. So I don't believe our standards would permit any panels on the R5 portion, but if you could load up R4 and at least it looks like you might be able to get at least 5 more there, so you might be 1 or 2 panels short.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I have a quick question.
please.
Does that hip roof, does that continue all the way down to the corner of R11? I don't know if it shows here or not. I'm just not sure of the.
No, it doesn't.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. The R11 and R10 are lower pitch.
They're lower pitch,
Yeah.
but I'm saying at the top of R5 and R7,
they're also-
where they meet,
Yeah.
would that continue down like it does on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side? So that valley would be in there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a really good comment. You
How
might
much?
be able
Yeah.
to put another couple of panels in R7 and not be visible.
We should be able to accommodate those panels in
Oh, if you can do that and eliminate all the panels on R5 and resubmit drawings accordingly, seems like what I'm hearing from folks is that would be acceptable because you would meet our standards.
Okay. When would I be able to resubmit that to you to gain approval then?
Okay, so what we can do, and I'll check with our solicitor here, but this is fairly straightforward and simple. We could pass a resolution this evening that is conditional upon you submitting to us revised drawings depicting that all of the solar panels would either be on R7 or R4. Would that be acceptable to you?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may, because you guys may want a conference and make sure that it serves your power needs and all that analysis. So what we could do is you could ask for an adjournment to the next available meeting, waive the time for decision for the board to make a decision tonight, and that would get you to the next meeting. In the meantime, you could submit a revised plan showing exactly what we're talking about tonight, and then you'd be at next month's meeting for potentially a final approval of that submitted plan.
Which I
John,
believe is an early meeting because of December, I think, is the 14th.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, too, on this drawing, this particular part of the roof right here, I think would serve the same purpose as this, would it not?
Actually, I don't believe the panels are going to be able to accommodate on that threshold because of fire safety setbacks. It's still adhered
Right,
to.
that's the other issue you have
Yeah.
to deal with, yeah.
Okay, so, but I mean, the fact is that this application is not going to be approved as submitted with the R5 coverage. Okay, so R5 is verboten for any panels because they'll be seen. Maybe the best thing, if I'm understanding Chris correctly, is to table this and bring it up. at the next meeting.
Next meeting is December 15th, by the way, so it's roughly 3 weeks away.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would let you do your calculations, let you site the panels on the acceptable roofs, right? And that way you could just bring it up. So if that's okay, I'll propose a motion to table this application for the next meeting with the applicant waiving the 40-day.
Now, question before you put that motion into movement. If I am able to locate them to the R4, R7, you could actually make an amendment tonight to move forward with it. I would just need to bring you that information before that meeting?
I thought we were going that way until I heard our solicitor.
Our solicitor is advising us otherwise.
If you're confident that you can make that work, I think we can probably address that by way of condition to an approval tonight. I don't, there's no rushing you through that analysis tonight at the table. I know we're throwing that at you now. so-
Understood. But we would either have to make that power possible for him, or we'd have to pretty much withdraw our moving forward, correct?
Or reduce the targeted kilowatt.
Either way, they would have to be removed off of R5, so
Correct.
Right.
we're good with moving forward with that condition. How would I bring you guys that information beforehand?
If you are okay with that, which means we won't need to table it, we could approve this tonight, assuming that you would get the votes necessary, under the condition that there would be no panels on R5 or any roofs visible from the street. So in other words, to keep this simple, you would accommodate all of the panels on R4, 7, 11, and 10.
Agreed.
Great, so I would like to make that
You
motion.
just made it, so I'll second it.
Yeah, great. Everybody hear that motion? So we have a motion to approve based upon the condition that all the panels be on R4, 7, 10, or 11,
Or that no panels be on R5.
and none on R5.
And they've waived the time limit.
Well, they're
No,
not
no,
tabling
this
this,
is
we're
an
approving
approval.
this.
It's an approval,
And
yeah.
all he would need to do is submit a revised roof plan depicting that.
Okay.
Deal?
Great, okay.
And
So-
you would submit that revision presumably to the review committee.
Yes.
That'll be the condition of approval,
Yeah.
matching those parameters.
So just so you can understand what that means, you would not be required to make a new application. You don't need to pay another fee. You would simply submit the supplemental drawings. We meet every Tuesday morning, and if you have it in by, what is it, the Friday before Tuesday, we can generally accommodate folks, Lauren?
Monday.
A full week before?
So if you
Oh,
do it-
one day.
Yep, just one day before.
Great. So if you had the drawings to us on any Monday, the very next day, Tuesday morning, assuming that they are compliant with our standards, we could approve them and review, and you'd be done.
Sounds great.
You
Great.
can do it before next meeting if you choose to.
I will choose that.
Yeah. Our next meeting is tomorrow. No, at the next one, which would be
Understood.
next Tuesday. Okay. All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Becker, seconded by Mr. Testo. Could we have a roll call vote, please, Lauren?
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Ms. Basagno,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Strudick,
Yes.
Ms. Decker,
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand,
Yes.
Mr. Testa,
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're very welcome.
Ladies.
Okay, our next application, City of Cape May Tennis Center at 1020 Washington Street.
So now's your time to do it.
Yep.
So if you could all please state your name, your address, and your role in the project?
David DeTore, 804 Westfield Avenue, Cape May, New Jersey.
Linda Viventi, 11 Saddlewood Drive, Cape May Courthouse. I'm the architect.
And what's your role, David?
Helping them project manage.
Okay, great.
To this.
Scott Maslow, 18 Second Avenue, Cape May,
And your role in the project?
president of the tennis
Of
club.
the tennis club. Okay. So I'm going to ask Mr. Testa to abide by this conversation. I need to recuse myself because I'm a member of the tennis club.
And
And I think that's the same for Mr. Carroll and for,
Well, we have
Mrs.
something-
Baldwin.
We have something of an issue here.
why?
Because I'm personally acquainted with the president of the tennis club and has been provided me with professional services in the past.
Well, we still have enough to vote for a
we
quorum.
have 4 members.
We have quorum.
That's where I was going.
Okay. So Kevin, or Janice, how about if, would you be willing to lead this conversation? Okay, great, thank you. So
We
do have a quorum.
We have 4, we're good. just before we get started, ma'am, can I get the spelling of your name again? I'm sorry.
V as in Victor, I, V as in Victor, E-N-T-I.
First and last name, I'm sorry. It's hard to hear over some of this chatter.
Linda Viventi.
Got it. And you're the architect?
Yes.
Thank you.
So you're going to present your plan to us, or, oh, you don't have,
I don't have the plans on me, but I happen to know about the project. It's a small addition to an existing pro shop. The existing storage area is 13 feet wide by about 20 feet deep. We're going to tear that part down. We're going to make an addition that's about 20 feet by 20 feet deep. And it's going to be it's going to have the same roof as the existing pro shop. And we're doing this for ADA purposes. We have a 1 in 12 ramp, which will be painted the same as the existing, made out of the same materials as the existing. The building itself will be clad in the same siding, and it will be the same color as the existing. The roof will be dimensional shingles. It may be a different color.
I would ask the board if we can go with an alternate also, while we're here. Go ahead and approve a standing seam roof, which we actually have in there.
okay.
Be great as an option if we manage to pull it off funding-wise.
Do you want to use the plans here? I'll give you those if you want to reference them.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, right, because there's more pages in here.
So everyone's familiar with where the existing pro shop is?
Just to be clear what the addition is, the building's already there, it's been there for years. It's the pro shop. There's a front stair that currently serves as the entryway to the office and the deck. But what you're going to do is put a ADA ramp actually in front of that to wrap around and connect to the existing porch.
Right.
That's really the heart of the exterior addition, right? There's nothing else that's being
No,
expanded?
there's, close to court number 4 is...
On the opposite side?
On the opposite side is a shed that has double doors right now, and we're going to tear that down. It's actually attached to the main building, but the roof line is a little bit lower right now.
Where it says cans only.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's,
Yeah, we do have pictures.
so there's the existing, yes, existing conditions there, and actually aesthetically, in my opinion, it's an improvement, right? Where it's a continuation of the same gable roof line, and ultimately vastly improved, and also clearly we're going with ADA accessible bathrooms, full bathrooms, front and back. We have a great juniors program that's been developed. I don't know if you're all aware. So yes, more and more traffic ultimately down there, and this gets the compliant bathrooms downstairs. If you haven't been, our current restrooms are actually upstairs in the adjacent historic building that we hope to go with the New Jersey Historic Trust in another year or two and renovate that building as well, restore that building.
And the roof that you'd like to do is the standing seam roof?
I think so. Ideally, option one, if you will, we're going to go with an asphalt shingle. Same to match what's existing, but while we're here, of course, like to capture it in this application, if you simply would like to allow us the alternate of a standing seam.
Would you do it on both parts, or just?
Yes, on the pent roof, on the awning, if you will, and the main roof, yes.
Sounds good to me. What do you guys think? You have questions?
You prefer that?
I think so. We were exploring it. Obviously, there's a big board, lots of people involved, and we also have a committee dedicated to this design right now.
That sounds like fun.
But yes.
And cost.
Ultimately,
right?
cost.
Cost is the
It's all
whole,
cost.
whole determinant.
So you want to propose to the board either, those either would be acceptable?
Right.
Yes.
Yes,
And you
please.
Yeah.
can choose from however your board decides or lands on.
Wherever our cost
So
basis
you
is
wanna
when we
do
finally
same
do
for
it.
same, or you want to upgrade to standing
Upgrade as
seam
the alternate to a
if the board
standing seam.
agrees?
Yes, please.
Other questions?
Problems with that?
Not at all. The building is actually in the center of the tennis complex, so it's really not visible from the streets.
It's not visible from the street from Washington. And as you guys know, I'm sure you saw in the application also, this is the non-contributing building.
That's right.
Versus the contributing brick to the right.
And
Is
there's
this-
no survey for this building?
There's,
Survey meaning a civil engineer survey?
No, the
Historic property.
property survey?
So I don't know if it should have been incorporated in there. I actually emailed originally the city. You don't have anything on file for
It
that
was
building.
either built in 62 or 63. The whole complex was first formed in 62, deeded over to the city, and then the city leased it to the tennis club, and the pro shop was built in 63. So
So it probably doesn't have a survey. is
Cor-
that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah.
The only building that has a survey is the more historic, the late 1800s that you're probably all well aware of, that was part of the Physic Estate originally, is the history of that building.
Is this patio new on this?
It's not, that's existing.
It is existing.
So, yeah, that's actually there, and we actually might aesthetically make some more improvements at the end of the day.
So no additional impervious surface, you're not?
So there will be, speaking of why we're talking about this, and this is part of why it's going under the city of Cape May, is there's ADA improvements that are site-wide. So I don't know if you've seen that. It's actually on the website.
Okay.
But they're incorporating their sidewalk extension via the Kiwanis Park, coming out of the park, past that. That is actually going to go in front, which is great for our kids especially, but we're going to run, they're ultimately, you have that site plan here. If you look at the gray, if you don't mind, I'll walk towards you. But this is all the site-wide city improvements, so all this gray right now, most of you probably know we don't have any sidewalks. All these are part of the city's plan for the accessibility, and that's why we're kind of tackling this project in
Great.
conjunction with the city. They're fully funded, and that's happening in the next, that's probably happening in the spring. I know they have it out for bid right now.
It's jutting out a bit, but no problems with egress, right? Everything's going to just run as smoothly as it always does. Okay.
Yes.
I have two questions. There's a note on the second page of the application, says that one specimen, this is a tree or something, is compromising a court in the building footprint. Are you planning to remove a tree then?
Yes.
And you've been to the Shade Tree Commission?
We have not been to the Shade Tree Commission. We actually went via Paul Dietrich, and he was there, and he sees it's inside of the footprint of our extension of our building where a foundation needs to go. So it's almost easier to show you. But
You'll
yes,
actually,
there's no,
so you'll remove the tree and then I assume replace it?
correct.
someplace?
It's sitting right on the edge of where the new foundation, currently there's not a foundation. It used to be a garage that we're tearing down that you see in the existing conditions. So naturally, we're going to have to meet code, and we're going to put a footing in. And
Okay.
it sits right there, in between the court, which is actually terrible for our court also. It's literally growing in the fence line, so kind of tackle too.
And the purpose of enlarging the shed portion of it is the NJTL Kids Program has been a huge success. And we need some space to have the kids bowl. Yeah, it's just making part of it. We need a space for the kids to have their supplies, snacks, and things like that. And it would be too constricted with the ADA bathrooms put in there. It just would have diminished what we could do for the kids as far as getting things out.
How large is the tree?
How large is what?
The tree?
Diameter of the tree, it's probably 20-inch, just guessing from being on site.
One last question. The exterior lighting is referenced as dark sky compliant. How are you achieving that? Is that
You
just in candle
should
panels?
have a submittal. You have a cut sheet of a suggested light fixture that should be.
I saw the cut sheet.
Think ultimately that you would all be satisfied with. Again, if we change from that, I understand that we will bring you in a cut sheet. We'll come in. Anything that changes, we will obviously come in front of the board.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
No?
Well, would someone like to make a motion?
I'm sorry. Can I ask one more question? So on the cut sheet.
Yes.
It's really a function of just the lumens. It's not a matter of shielding. Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, in this case, both. So you actually have shielding from the upper canopy, right? So particularly, yes.
You
where
mean
where your finger
I
is.
got it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Judy, you
Good.
had a question about the tree?
I just know that when trees come out, we're required to go to the Shade Tree Commission to,
We'll revisit that. It was instructions and coincide with working with the city, but
Yeah, you must get an approval from the Shade Tree Commission. If Paul did it, that's fine, but I know that's a requirement for us.
so I'll make a motion for approval, conditional upon approval by the Shade Tree Commission for removal of the tree.
I'll second that.
Okay, could we have a roll call, Lauren?
Ms. Pasagno?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Wilson Shirley?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
There we are.
Thank you all very much for your time.
Luck.
That's mine.
Okay, our next application, Carney's
Oh, Carney.
at 411, 419 Beach Avenue. This project, for everybody's edification, has been submitted for final review. A couple of months ago, the same group of folks presented to us and had conceptual approval to move forward. So we're seeking final tonight, is that correct? We are. Great. If you could, please all introduce yourselves by telling us your name, your address, and your role in the project, please. On behalf of Carney's, could you elaborate, please?
I'm attorney representing.
Okay, good, thank you.
I'm the restaurant operator, Sean Carney, 411 Beach Avenue.
Morris Clark, DAS Architects. I'm the project architect.
Okay.
1628 JFK Boulevard, Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Greg Standevan, also from DAS Architects, Senior Project Manager, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Philadelphia.
Can I get your last name again? I'm sorry.
Standevan, Standeven.
Well, welcome, gentlemen. The floor is yours.
Although I was not here for the preliminary approval, it is my understanding that it was conducted at that time. There were some minor concerns expressed by the board. It is my understanding that those concerns have been addressed. We are here for final approval. It is also my understanding that the only condition, as it was left the last time my clients were here, was that they got zoning approval. We have been before the zoning board. We have obtained approval.
Did this also include the areas for signage not being exceeded? From
Excuse me?
zoning?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
We covered all the issues that were associated with the building and the proposal. So having said that, I have Mr. Clark beside me who would like to go over the plans. Just as a general overview, we are proposing with regard to the outside renovations to move the entranceway, which, as you all know, is a entranceway that is not really Victorian or even complementary to the whole, it's been there forever, we're all very used to it, that's for sure.
One
But I think
might
what is being-
one might say Mexican.
What's that?
Mexican from the 16th century.
It has its own time and place.
Yes, it does. Well, I remember when it was Sid's, when I was just a young boy, and that's exactly how it looked back then. And hasn't changed a bit since. But in any case, I believe that what's being proposed here is much more consistent with the town and what the city would like to see on its beachfront. But having said that, I give the floor to Mr. Clark.
Thank you. So just starting to go through our package real briefly, the 001, some existing photos, so you can see the contributing building on the right in photo number 1, and the non-contributing building, which is really mostly the facade we're talking about today, to the left being the Carneys with the bricks and stucco, which we're looking to move that facade. Page 2 is just some additional photos from the surrounding neighborhood down the street, and showing some context on the next 2 pages. Page 005, this is our existing site plan as the building is today, so you can see on the left-hand side again the non-contributing portion of the building, which is the facade that we're mostly will be working on with the relocation of that entrance and changing of the facade, and then we are updating some windows on the contributing portion as part of this, so that everything matches. 006 is our proposed plan. This shows that we are moving that entrance from the Carney's main room, that circular shape from, we'll call it the right side of that portion of the building, to the far left in what is currently that little gable end, and we're extending that facade and creating a new, more traditional facade as part of that work, and we are proposing to replace the doors and windows in the contributing side, which is the right room known as the other room. If we actually skip to, I think the elevations would be better on, we'll go to the colored ones on 612. Here you can really see the meat of the matter here. Number 2 is our existing south elevation, where it shows the contributing building on the right, our non-contributing building, the main Carney's main room building, which is brick with some stucco and wood trim and some shingle roof. We are proposing what is above that, has been before you with the more traditional trim, these folding sliding windows with their wood mullions, and our signage. So the signage that we went for approval at zoning is only for the Carney sign. I know in the renderings here it shows the restaurant food drink above our windows, but that was removed from the zoning application and is not signage that we are seeking approval for tonight. So we have 2 signs that are the Carney's logo sign on this facade and then the side of that same entrance, which is kind of overlooking the mini golf course next door. Again, the more traditional facade look here for the Carney's main room with the recessed door being moved to the left-hand side, new door. We do have new lighting to light the signage as well as some downlights underneath for the recessed door for code purposes. Our F windows are folding sliding windows, and then as we move over to the contributing building, you can see that the bay windows, we've taken the large kind of picture windows that were there and really are not correct with the time, and we are adding, again, casement and folding sliding windows, casement being H and the folding sliding H windows in the bay window with that same wood mullion and wood look, that wood window. And we are also proposing on the contributing building, the Carney's other room, to install the trim, the kind of angled trim that had been there many years ago and at some point was taken away, so we're matching that.
You mean on the first floor?
On the first floor.
Right.
Yeah,
To
that's what
match
appeared
this,
on the property
to
report.
match the second floor. 613 is the side view, so this is the east elevation. So again, you're kind of seeing the building, it's on the angle of the street as it's going away. Our new entry, which is kind of that 1.5-story space with our second piece of signage, and then our proposed, we're taking down that brick and stucco, and we're coming back with a brick water table at the bottom, foundation water table, and then some wood lap siding and our trim, and again, our casement windows. Yes, and again, the writing that is shown in elevation 1 will not be there. The family dining establishment, live music, Shores, and Finest. On 614, our finish schedule is here. These finishes are also show up in our packet of materials along with our application. We did provide as part of our package a materials list for both the contributing building and the non-contributing building so that it was clear, even though there's some overlap on finishes and color, we wanted it to be clear what was for each building in that application. So the brick is really on the non-contributing building. Our new roof material is the shingles, our paint colors on our new wood, our facade, that's the wood moldings that you see for the columns underneath the windows, and creating that, what we'll call tonight a sign band, even though there's no signage actually in those recesses. And then as well, material for our horizontal siding, our standard wood trim, our windows, and our doors are all specified on that plan as well. And just to round out the package, at the end of the package, we have some wall sections showing our wall assembly, existing roof assembly, and how we're putting in these new wood windows and the trim that we're going to be using to create the facade. I can go through them if you'd like, but they're three sections there, and then the last two pages are the elevations of the Kearney signage, which will be wood painted, like cutout, CNC cutout signage that will be applied to the sign band in this shape. They are under the total 20 square foot between the two signs that zoning allows for.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to go around the room and ask for folks to ask questions, but I'd like to initiate the conversation by saying to you, Mr. Clark, and your team, that this is an extraordinarily well put together submission, quite comprehensive. Everything almost, with a few questions I have, are included and very nicely done. So,
Thank you.
So we stood over here with Mrs. Baldwin.
The only question that I have, when you went to the zoning board, all of the conditions and changes that were made, could you state them, please?
Excuse me?
The conditions and/or changes that were made at the zoning board?
Okay, well, initially what was put before the board is the major concerns that the zoning board would have, and that is, what are you changing the number of seats and the configuration of the interior? Whether it would reflect on whether additional parking would be required or any of those other things. And what was presented for the board was that nothing was going to be changed in the interior than what is there. That all the changes were basically just a relocation of the entranceway, and that the seating numbers were not going to change, therefore the parking requirements wouldn't change. Everything is basically going to remain the same in that regard. The only thing that's really changing is the outward appearance.
And then the signage is the other
signage,
thing that
yes.
you said? Okay. Okay.
So yes, what we would be approving tonight would remove the secondary signage panels. They'd be excluded from the submission. right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, we would, if we were going to do them in the future, we'd come back in front of
Okay.
HPC and.
Great. Mr. Carroll?
We don't
Oh,
actually
wait a sec.
control,
Were you finished? I'm sorry.
Yes, I was. Thank you,
Okay.
Chairman.
Yep.
I thought you were asking Tom if he was finished.
we don't
Hasty.
control colors, but I have to say, if these are the colors that you're planning for it, they're very nice. You know, it's colorful, it's beachy. The windows are darker, which kind of pulls them back in, lighter on the outside. So the color placement goes along with what we have on many of our historic buildings. Maybe not as bright as this, but for a beachfront fun place, as the sign says, fun, they work very well. So I hope you stick with them.
That is the intention, yes. Thank you.
Are you finished? Okay, great. Mr. Testa?
Well, just to get the posture of this as it comes before us straight, this was before us before. Did we give it conceptual approval?
Yes.
And so what you were narrating tonight was sort of a repeat. It's not changes, right, from the conceptual approval?
No, I think the only change that was from conceptual to now was on the first floor contributing building, adding those angular trim
so those
elements
are
that-
different from
that
the
were-
conceptual.
They weren't there.
They weren't there.
because They hadn't,
Okay.
they haven't been on the building, and
Good.
it was, a photo was brought to our
And the
attention.
exclusion of the secondary signage
Yeah.
panels.
And the secondary.
And I have to say, and although Tom will praise you for color, I will praise you for taking that non-contributing structure and turning it into something really attractive.
Thank you.
I mean, one could have a lot of fun inside, but the outside was nothing you'd want to, I mean, and I didn't mean to disparage Spanish colonial or Mexican architecture. I just think that it served its purpose for the time, and this design is just, there's nothing about it that isn't a great improvement.
Yeah,
over-
I mean,
what-
thank you. We were looking to, a goal of Sean and DAS was to make this.
Well, you've
Cape- the
enhanced,
Cape
I think,
May.
the contributing structure and put those windows and doors aright. And I have no idea whether they've been changed over time or not, but you've put it back into the setting that it ought to have. And there's just no way I can tell you how much I appreciate what you did to the non-contributing structure. So I think it's a great design. Your material sheets, as you've separated them all, seem to be acceptable for all the materials that what we approved.
We've been here a time or two.
Yeah, I think as I was expecting Dave to show up tonight.
Well, he couldn't be here. He just had hip replacement surgery on Friday, so he's not up and around yet, but
So this is really an excellent
he
improvement.
wishes he could be.
It really is.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
save mine for last. So Ms. Wilson-Stridick, have you questions?
No, I just can join the chorus of compliments. we're working on a award program next year, and when we look at all the projects that come before us, we're looking for the kind of spirit that you brought to this one, which is how can we make it more contributing? So thank you.
Thank you.
I also think it's a vast improvement, compliments. I think you did a great job. I just have one question that may have been covered in previous meetings. The windows that are marked an I on 612, you said they're going to be folding, so you'll open it in the summer. Are they going to open out towards the sidewalk or in towards the dining room?
I, on the contributing building, they do open out with.
They do open out? Because isn't it sort of narrow under there? I wonder if it's going to obstruct.
Still, it's like 4'8" when they're open. If you're at, there's not actually a column at its location, but if a column was in front of you, that's where you would be. You're over 5 foot in front of it when they're open.
They sit over, currently we have planters out there
Oh, you
along
do?
the front, and they sit right over those planters.
Oh, okay.
So you won't be knocking anybody off
You
the
won't be
street?
knocking.
We will not.
And then I just have a comment. I also think the blue is really lovely. I'm a little concerned about the contributing building. It appears that you have, the recessed areas are all blue with the red trim on the windows, but it looks like the columns and the spandrels will remain white. Is that correct?
The columns on the contributing building.
On the first floor?
On the first floor will remain white with those angled trim elements.
All right, so it's really great that you returned all that. I think it just looks a little strange that you have two colors on the facade.
I think it was more so to separate the business and the residential apartment.
Okay.
So, like, a constant question that we'll get is, how do we get to your upstairs dining?
Okay.
So the point was kind of to make the business be one and the apartment that is not accessible be separate from the business.
Okay, I get it. Thank you very much. Again, compliments. I think it's lovely.
Thank you.
I liked it the first time it was here. I like it even more now. I think it's wonderful and much improved and much needed. And thank you for the good job.
Thank you.
So I'm glad somebody else can see the color, because I can't see blues and greens.
That's why you're our color consultant, Kevin.
Nice. Except that it looks great. Just two quick comments. One is that cross beams that are on the first floor were on the property report. That's where that came from. And it also ties to the fence, if you will, to the left of the non-contributing building. It sort of has a bit of that same appearance. Two quick questions of my own. The doors that are on the contributing building are really just egress, right? They're not, people are not, are they entering there as well? I thought they were just entering at the tower.
No, they're entering there as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an existing ingress, egress.
Okay.
It works for both.
Just curious, because when I was looking at the floor plan, it didn't look like there was a guest waiting, arrival point there. So I was thinking that must be like a fire exit or a way out of the building, not really a way in. It doesn't matter. We don't get into the inside of the building anyway, but it would be another point where you'd see traffic coming out into the sidewalk area. The other question is just the lighting above the Kearney sign.
Yep.
Is that also still designed for the dark sky initiative?
Yeah, so that's really angled back at the building and cut off so that it is really only.
Yeah, so they're goosenecked or something.
They're goosenecked
okay.
and they're coming back, and there was a cut sheet
Got it.
provided in the package of that.
Okay,
So they are really only lighting that. There's no light leading up.
very good. I have no other comment.
Okay. I have 4 questions, and they're all very at the detail level.
Okay.
So the first one has to do with the simulated divided lights. So on all of your window specifications, I believe that it describes by this last statement that insulated glass features an internal shadow bar so that it does replicate divided lights. So in other words, they're not just stuck on the inside and outside. There is the shadow bar between the insulated glass. Is that correct?
It is inside the glass. Yeah, it's
Inside, so it looks like it goes all the way through, right? So the only other question about that is, and my first 3 questions are all about the options that are in these specs. So it says that the options are 5/8, 7/8, 1-inch putty profile, and there's also a contemporary profile. So what is the profile, since those are all the options that you're proposing for the simulated divided lights and the size?
Do you remember?
So here,
Selected.
I'm looking at product summaries for
Yeah.
your window specs.
Yeah, it's in here. Do you remember what?
I can make a recommendation.
Please.
So generally, at this scale, the 7/8" putty profile would probably be most appropriate for both the, I'll say, the contributing building and the non-contributing building. Would that be acceptable to you?
Yes.
Okay,
Get that, yeah.
so 7/8 putty SDLs. Second question. There, windows D and I, and only I is what I'm going to question here for a moment, because only I is in the contributing building, D is not. There are two windows that I think are in the two bay areas of the contributing building. It says the sill is comprised of an oak interior and an extruded aluminum exterior. So for a contributing building, that would not be appropriate.
They are wood. The only aluminum should be the track that they're moving inside the wood.
Ah, okay. So it actually says that the sill is an extruded aluminum exterior, so we just need to verify that the sill will in fact be painted wood on window I.
Information for you, yeah.
Okay, great. And last one is really simple. And it has to do with this, the hardware. So at first I couldn't find what the material was, but it's rubbed bronze, great. Is that what you're also proposing for the contributing buildings doors?
Yes, I do believe so. Let me check.
So this is very clearly a contemporary door pull. I think we'd like to see an alternative choice to this that's a little more complementary to the period of the building.
Okay.
Done.
Great,
Not going to argue over hardware.
all right.
You tell me what you want, I'll put it on there.
Well, I would leave that up to your architect to select and get your approval. Yeah? Make sense? Okay, so I think what we're hearing is that if anyone would like to make a motion, I would suggest that it include the following four conditions. One is a resubmission of elevations to exclude the secondary signage. We only need one copy of that. The reason for that, by the way, is we have a field inspector who goes out to verify that what's been approved is actually being installed. He needs an accurate set of drawings to have for reference. So I actually think we need 3 copies, right? Yep. Just 3 copies of the revised elevations. Second would be clarification, and this could be in letter form, of you're going to be using the 7/8" putty simulated divided lights. Yep?
Yes.
Okay. Third, that the sill for the eye windows in the contributing building would be wood.
Yep.
And fourth would be a more historically appropriate set of door pulls.
Okay.
Sounds like a motion to me. I'll
And,
second
and, I
it.
mean, and since that has all the substance of a motion,
I'll
I'll
make
make a motion to grant final approval to the application as submitted with the conditions that Mr. Becker has just outlined, and with the submission of materials satisfying the conditions required to be presented to the review committee for its review and approval.
And do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Hammerin. Have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pasagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Stridig?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. So thank you again for a very, very wonderful submission. And just so you know, normally when there's this many conditions, we would probably ask you to come back, but these are very simple and straightforward. They can be approved, I think, quite readily by our review committee.
Yeah, we'll get that package out to you right away.
Be great. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
gentlemen. Yep.
Very nicely done.
I've watched it. It disappears. Okay, got it. Okay, next, please, Fisher at 1013 Stockton Avenue. And this is for a final submission. We also reviewed this and granted conceptual approval back in September, only 2 months ago. So welcome back.
Thank you.
If you could please just state your name, your address, and your role in the project, please.
Alan Fisher, homeowner, 1013 Stockton.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Christina Amy, architect, 716 Asbury Avenue, Ocean City, New Jersey.
The floor is yours.
So since we were last here, we'd also been to the zoning board because we were changing this from a 2-unit dwelling to a single-family dwelling. You probably know the bulk requirements vary for the different uses in this zone. So for instance, we needed impervious coverage variance because the existing structure was.
Oh, you do have mic.
It's
you're in stereo.
And I'm losing my voice, so please tell me if you need me to repeat or be louder. Impervious coverage was an area that we needed a variance on. There were existing nonconformities from the existing house that we needed to formally get variances on. One of the other items was, it turned out the DCA had talked to Craig Hurlis about extrapolating the parking requirements from the RSIS. So therefore, we had to add a parking space from the last version you've seen and what you have. And we didn't increase the driveway size at all. We had space to accommodate that additional space. Since we were last year from a design standpoint, having nothing to do with the zoning board, we had proposed kind of lattice panels for plants to grow on the two sides of the porch towards the front portion. We've removed them and only placed it slightly back further to still give my client his privacy for his morning coffee.
So only in that one bay, right?
Correct,
Got
only
it.
the one bay. And in addition to that, there were discussions about window divided light arrangements from the last meeting.
What did you discover?
We discovered that the most attractive divided light configuration to my client is the 9/1. However, because we have an array of window sizes in the existing house, in which the proportion of the overall window is shorter to its width, and there's a large number that are larger, that actually a combination of a 6/1 for those shorter windows that are about 3 feet, 3 feet 4 tall roughly, maybe 3'8" a couple, but to the larger windows that are 5 feet or larger, the 9/1 work in those because they are tall. Their proportion of the window is much different than the shorter windows. So you'll see an array predominantly in the dormers of a 6/1 look. Again, some of those are egress casements, so they have the 2-inch sash simulated rail. And let me get the right drawing out here. And there are a couple bathroom windows and other random windows, again, existing sizes that are just a shorter proportion, a shorter and wider overall sash proportion.
I think the bottom line, we did take feedback. We removed several of the 9/1 windows.
Okay. I don't want to interrupt you, but are you done?
I believe I am.
Great. So, a couple things. Once again, a beautifully composed submission. It's comprehensive. It has everything we need to assess it, and it's a very skillfully done project, I would like to say.
Thank you.
And almost nothing has changed from the conceptual review. You've just given us a bit more detail, with the exception of the additional parking place, the screen being limited to one bay, and the decision about the configuration of the grills in the windows.
Correct. And the cut sheet, I believe, for the windows specifically says
It's
about the new primed.
Thank you very much. It does. So given that, I would like to suggest that instead of going around the room, I would just invite anybody who has any questions or comments to make them, please.
I'd like to ask what may be the dumbest question of this, and that's just having not been here for the original presentation. This is a replacement of substantially all windows?
Yes, with the exception of there's a window at the stair that has some leaded glass that is going to remain, or be repaired, I should say.
And the reason being just for aesthetics, or just because they're in bad shape, or because they were Perhaps this has already been asked and answered.
It
They
was.
they are
Yeah,
already
that's okay.
replacement windows,
They're
so
already-
they're not
Yes.
original windows, yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay, that brings me back up to.
It's
where I
okay.
should be. So you are replacing with higher quality windows that have already been replaced of lower quality.
Correct.
Correct.
Got it.
Any other questions or comments?
Just one quick, I guess, two questions. On drawing HPC 10, in the proposed right side elevation, there is a window in the middle that does not have the divided lights on the top. Is that intended, or?
The,
The,
are you referring to the stained glass?
is it the second window from the right? Oh, left, sorry. Is the second window from the left on the first floor?
Yes. Is that?
That is the
That's the
leaded
stained
glass
glass
window,
window,
yes.
okay.
Next to that little window, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the small, okay, I got it. I knew I'd hit that, probably.
And I see that Kevin, thank you for making me look at this elevation a little closer. We left the proposed lattice above the railing on that elevation, and I would be happy to, assuming you're going to grant approval, give a revised HPC sheet, HPC 10 sheet, not showing that lattice on that. It got left, it didn't get erased on that one elevation. It is correct on the proposed left side elevation. On the right side, it didn't get erased.
I have to ask a question, and John, I'm going to defer to you on this, about the lattice. If the lattice is simply hung from two hooks on the ceiling and two at the bottom to stabilize it so it's not, swaying in the wind, that's removable. Is there a reason why we couldn't do that on multiple panels there on the side? It doesn't strike me, since it's easily removable, that would be a problem from our standard standpoint. I get if you fix it, then that's a different story. But if it's just a removable panel of lattice, I don't know that that's a problem. Do you know? What's your opinion on the standards?
We would love to have that option. If not, and you feel strongly about it, we'll take the back bay as a win. But if we have that optionality, that would be
So as
great.
I recall, Mr. Carroll, you were speaking mostly about that. Do you have any comments about that?
No.
Okay, no. The answer is he doesn't have any comments about that. So Kevin, are you saying, so let me ask you this.
Yeah, I'm saying if you fix that panel in place, then all bets are off, and you shouldn't extend it beyond the one panel, because then it becomes obtrusive, from the standpoint of the standards. But if, on the other hand, it's just simply a panel that is hung from some hooks, if you left the bottom alone, it would simply sway in the wind, but it just, the hooks just keep it in place, easily removable. I'm not sure that that's a problem from a standard standpoint, and I'm just trying to.
So I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because to continue them in that front bay considerably alters the visibility through that layer, which is such a consistent ordering device for porches along the streetscape, where there is a transparency between the front edge of columns and that space before we get back to the official windowed facade of the building, whereby when they're limited to just the back bay, they're already well behind that transparency and seem perfectly appropriate to me. So I would suggest that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
About the-
Now, not to be argumentative, our next-door neighbor
Yeah.
and that front bay has this screening in place. So
Yes.
there are no unencumbered views down the block. Still, I'm happy with the back bay. I'd like to have the option of putting that up, like, in the summer. Those porches are so close that if you're sitting on that porch and you're dining, it's like you're sitting in.
Okay, so I would propose a hybrid approach, that if you had a removable panel that went from the newel post to the middle column, which would essentially align with the front facade of the building. So I'm looking at drawing HPC 11. So that I think would be
Win.
acceptable.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Did you guys all hear that?
Yeah, I agree. I think the removable panel is important to this, because otherwise we really are tampering with the
Agreed.
exterior.
So in other words, I think what you're hearing, pending a motion, is that I think we're lining, I think, around it being acceptable to use removable panels from the newel post in the front bay on elevation, proposed left side elevation. from the newel post back.
Yes,
Yep.
What he's saying from here.
yes.
Post this one.
Yep, the newel post, yes.
So this area.
What's he mean by the new post?
The newel post is the railing post
On HPC 11,
on HPC 11.
Yeah.
So therefore, the transparency from the outermost face of the facade to the front columns would remain fully open.
Good.
You good? Okay.
Just as the plan.
One last question.
Yeah.
Are you changing any of the landscaping plan with your modifications to the driveway?
other than there's grass that will be removed to accommodate the driveway. No.
No, that's fine. Okay.
Here too.
So John, just to be clear, you're advising them they can add one additional panel on that
Yes.
side? Okay. And they'll be removable?
They have to all be removable. Yeah.
And would you like that, to have the one additional
Please.
panel for privacy?
Please.
So,
Just want to be clear, we might be talking about 3 panels, right? There's the proposed permanent one that was relocated to the area of the chimney towards the rear of the coffee area. And then we're talking about 1 or 2 temporary.
Actually, I think we're talking about all of them becoming removable.
Okay,
In order to get the additional panel, I think all should be constructed the same way, which would be removable.
so that's not how I interpreted that. I think we were all fine with the panels, the 3 panels in the back bay between the last 2 columns being permanently fixed. I think we're okay with that.
Okay?
I think what we were talking about is any additional ones limited to the middle newel post between the front bay of columns would be removable.
and my question was, because Miss Amy referenced, kind of offered up, hey, we'll take down the one near the front doorway that's depicted on the plans right
Right.
there. But we've shifted that to well, doing removable panels for that side and maybe the other, or just
Well,
one?
this side actually is still forward of the front face of the house, so this side would still be removed on the drawing because it's,
Correct.
the house kind of has an L-shaped porch.
Okay.
So it's really the portion of the porch that is aligned with the front of the house back only that would have panels.
So-
So from that proposed right side elevation, you never really see that because the bump out bay that exists of the building would block that.
Okay, so no matter what, the applicant's proposing to remove the lattice in HPC 10, right?
Correct.
Now we're talking about HPC 11.
Correct.
And this discussion about the newel post.
Correct.
This is the only elevation where we're going to see a removable panel now. And this is going to go, there's 2 options here. There's the permanent area that's already the area of the chimney, the coffee nook, and then frontward, and then there's a middle post there. So which side of that, if I'm looking at this plan, is it going to be the left side or the right side?
The left side of that newel post.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to preserve that,
So it's a solid set of panels. It looks like a solid set of panels with an open
Preserve
face.
the openness between the solid wall of the front facade and...
These would be
got it.
removed.
And the breezeway on the,
Correct.
so you can see down. into
Correct.
your- Got it, okay.
So I think what we're hearing is that there are 2 conditions. One is to remove the panels that are shown on the proposed right side elevation on HC 10.
Correct.
And the other is that, should you choose to do it, and I think you go ahead and show them, removable panels between the newel post and the middle column on the proposed left side elevation that would be removable. Yep. Questions or comments otherwise? Yep, please.
Yes, I'm not comfortable with the permanent panels. It's sort of enclosing the porch, and I believe it's going to affect the railing. How is it going to be attached to the railing? Permanently attached to the original railing and the posts?
Yes, the adjacent neighbor, there's a photograph on HPC 10 where, and I know it's it's zoomed out, it's small that you can't see the close-up at 11 by 17, but there's actually a 2x4 that goes from the beam of the porch down to the railing, and then the lattice. Each of those, in this photo, there's 3 panels. Each of those 3 panels each has a 2x4 with lattice in between. So it's a 2x4 with lattice in between, and then another 2x4 for the next panel adjacent to it. So there's really a gap of, 4 to 8 inches offhand, because they have multiple panels, so the two are different. So that's the way the neighbors' panels were installed, and what was found attractive to Mr. Fisher in seeing the neighbor's house. And that was kind of our intention, was to kind of replicate that construction.
And just to be clear, this is not your standard, say, quarter-inch lattice work that you would see below a porch. This is, inch and a half thick cedar. So in terms of affixing it, it's actually grooved to mirror the profile of that railing.
Correct, it's a different scale.
Just to be clear, we didn't review this lattice, or it probably wouldn't have been approved, so we can't really consider that. It was very,
Oh, you're saying the neighbors?
your neighbors.
Yeah,
I appreciate that you included that. Unfortunately, things happen in the historic district that we have no control over. We have better control now because we have a compliance officer.
So if our panels were similar in proportion, but just hanging as opposed to fixed, would that be more satisfactory to you?
I would prefer that they were hanging and removable, as Mr. Hammerin suggested, because it's a slippery slope. If we start approving these panels, lots of people that have close porches all over the city are going to want to put permanent panels up, and before we know it, they might be windows. I think it could be easily accommodated in a way that, you're just really leaving a half-inch space, and they could be attached pretty permanently without really affecting the original porch. I think it's a really nice plan. I think it looks great. I appreciate you. But that's my comments.
If I understand where we are now, we're debating between fixed and removable panels with respect to all the panels.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we know what's
honestly,
in the game. I have to say, I don't really object to the fixed panels. They're large, but I don't think they deter at all from the attributes of the house. And they're located, if they're fixed, they're located, although I have some fear that anything that we say is going to be removable turns out to be fixed because it's a problem to keep putting them on and off. But as for the ones that are shown and that we've been talking about before Judy's comments is fixed, I don't have a problem with them being fixed in place. So I don't think we agree on the necessity. To me, they don't work a detriment to the building.
So Judy, I really appreciate your comments. Would like to point out, though, that they would only be on that very left outside face of the porch, so that the proposed front elevation on HC10 is still transparent all the way through. So it's not as if they are enclosing against a solid surface. They're not. They're floating in space. Therefore, really, what I'm trying to point out is the proposed front elevation on HPC 10. If they were to turn and wrap that back corner, then I'd have a problem, because that would be enclosing that space.
absolutely.
But it's not. It's really just a visual screen from the neighbor. There's still the transparency through the porch looking from the front.
See, my only reason for recommending it is simply that, from a visual standpoint, I don't think it's very different, whether it's fixed or removable. If it's up, it's not going to look terribly different. The logic of having it as removable, though, is really in keeping with our whole theory and philosophy about retaining the contributing status. So they're already making a few changes here and there on the building. It's not much. I mean, that's the good news, and that's one of the reasons why we gave you conceptual approval, and I think you'll see final approval, is that, we're not, I don't think, jeopardizing the contributing status of the house. But anything you can do, anything that is reasonable, a reasonable accommodation that doesn't really impact what the homeowner is, is trying to achieve, which is privacy and so forth, anything that affords that removability, that's just a step in the right direction from the standpoint of protecting the contributing status. Because when the property survey, or the next time the property is reviewed, it's a removable piece. That makes it very easy and very clean, I think. That's my logic in making the argument for the removability. I mean, it's no different than what we always say about
You really
additions.
can't fault the logic.
No.
Obviously, it's.
I don't
If
think.
it's able to be taken down, it looks like less of a change. I guess I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, and with all the lack of expertise, I don't think that a couple of fixed panels will change the contributing status.
I
of
don't
this
think so
structure.
either.
That's just my
I just always
personal
try to
opinion. I hope it's shared
in the
by
right
the
direction.
reviewers.
Mr.
So-
Fisher, what's your comment?
I don't think the aesthetics will be changed principally whether we affix them or not. So my argument's one of practicality. We will put them up. They will never be removed.
Correct.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so if I have things that are hanging on hooks, whether it's in wind or other kinds of situations, I'd rather have it permanently fixed where it's okay, just to avoid that as a safety hazard, because the reality is, other than hurricanes, we'll never pull them down.
That's the that's the reality of it.
Practicality.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe your street doesn't have the wind that my street has.
Oh, yeah,
I-
Well, I think every street has to win.
I really don't know that I want wooden panels flapping back.
Especially at the scale that I was talking about.
I couldn't agree more.
Now, we have a house next, 2 doors away from us, that's the Levy Neefy house, and they have fixed lattice that's been there probably for a couple generations, and it looks really nice. It looks integrated. It does afford privacy to the porch. And you might want to look at it, Christina, because it's not just a 2x4 that you fix it to. The structure of the lattice is affixed in a fairly elegant way that allows some space above the railing. So you really see the definition of the balusters and the railing. And then you have this panel that's fixed. It's been there for 50 years. And we have a lot of wind on our street. It does create more of a room for that porch, so that when you walk by, you see that you can have that neighborly thing, but you're not having a full view down the street. And I think the compromise of leaving that front area open and then having an elegant solution to a fixed lattice. And Tom always talks about privacy lattice. You haven't spoken up about that, but
Well, this is
you
not.
can tell the difference between some cheap,
Yes.
cheesy lattice and
Yes.
good lattice. I don't know what that is, but.
Well, privacy lattice has as much light coming through as solid wood around it. So it ends up with like 25% is see-through and 75% is the cross wood. But I'm still thinking about the lattices here. In all my years on this board, temporary things become permanent if that's what the people really wanted in the first place. And I won't go into many examples of that around the town, but there's been a lot of those that, that they get up and we just don't have the enforcement to say you got to go back to the plan that you had that we approved 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever. As you walk up that street, if you have more panels coming out, you're not going to get that open front porch looking because they're getting an angle look. When I brought up the idea of having just the panels in the back, you have that on the plan right now. And I really don't think we should support having another panel out there. You could have some kind of awning arrangement, curtain for when you're dining out there that, could be pulled across. But I don't think another panel out there would be something we would be happy with for the long term.
If we're,
Say out there, Tom, do you mean here?
It means out here.
Out here.
Right there.
we just,
Place of anything beyond the street.
So where are we, folks?
well, I would like to ask something. This may be two totally different things, but if you recall, last month, we denied the closed porch idea on Perry Street because you thought it was very important, and we all agreed with you that you'd be able to see straight through and that the porches, complemented one another. It's almost the same idea because we want that openness, but, we have to be consistent.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if I'm going to,
Well, I wasn't saying I thought that the fixed one should go all the way to the front.
I'm sorry?
The compromise of having the panel in the front was that it would not come before that one baluster.
Oh, no, I was just talking about what we did last month on Perry Street.
Well, that was totally different condition.
But
Okay,
this one
okay.
already has a through look.
Okay.
So it's not closed. And it seems to me that one of the things we have to get straight here is, yes, we are responsible for enforcing our standards. We're enforceable, we've got to trace them down and defend those. But we also have to respect the desires of the homeowner. I think that counts as a fair amount for what's at issue here.
So I have a reconciling proposal, but Judy, you have a comment.
I think the fourth panel was if they were not fixed, but the proposal is not for 4 panels, it's for 3.
Correct.
So I will support the current proposal, given the arguments everyone.
So I would
But
like to
I don't think the 4th panel, as Tom said, was not proposed in this. So if they're going to be fixed, I think 3 is pretty reasonable. That's what you asked for. It's probably what's necessary.
So I'd like to point out a geometrical relationship. So if we're looking right at the elevation itself, it's a little bit deceiving because the piece that sticks out for the bay window is actually significantly deeper than the actual corner edge of the house inside the porch. So if you look at the floor plan, you can see that quite readily, right? Follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? So I'd also like to point out that this is not a solid panel. There's about a foot space at least between each of the panels. So what you're seeing is that vertical white member, those 2 vertical whites, that's not a column, that's just space, correct?
Correct.
Right. So there's actually space between the column and the first panel, space between the first panel and the second panel, space between the second panel and third panel, and space between the third panel and the column, right? So given that geometrical association, or I would say relationship that I just called for, if you were to add a 4th panel that was exactly the same as the first 3 and spaced the same distance from the column as the one that exists, I would propose that as a reconciling way of harmonizing this in a way that we could all perhaps align around. So it would be adding a 4th panel, but it would be exactly the same size as the first 3, and it would also be spaced away from the column. It's not touching the column. So I think that's one of the things that you're missing perhaps in these drawings is there's spaces between these panels. That's not a solid between the panels. And therefore, the edge of that panel would roughly align with the edge of the house in the distance, or 13 feet 9 inches away, as opposed to sticking out past that like the bay window does further.
Right. Right.
And that, to me, would be an appropriate architectural geometrical response that actually helps define that space in a more private way for you to use accordingly.
Be thrilled with that.
That would be my proposal.
So you're proposing adding the 4th panel?
1 4th panel, same size as the first 3, spaced equidistant from the column as the others are.
Permanent?
Permanent.
Permanent.
It's going to be permanent no matter what.
It is.
Whatever, I mean, and it's a lot better that you take that approach rather than it swings from hooks.
Well, and
figure
also,
out-
when you're talking about permanent, I think in terms of preservation, changes that are removable without damaging the original fabric are less offensive or less difficult to approve.
Right, so Kevin, that answers your
A fixed
concern?
versus flying in the wind, I'm definitely for fixed.
It's going to be anchored.
Yeah.
I-
So can we table this for just a second? We're kind of talking in circles here, so I'd like to pause the panel discussion. Are there any other issues anybody has with this proposal? Are we only talking about the lattice panels? That's it, right? Tom, do you have any other issues?
On HPC 10, the other side of the house, it shows 3 panels.
No, we've already
that's
established they're not
that's
present. Yep.
definitely out.
Correct.
They're
So
out,
your
100%.
suggestion is 1 more panel on the other.
One more panel on the left side. Yep. So if all we're talking about is the panels, I would like to make a motion. I would move that we approve this as a final submission with 2 conditions. One is you resubmit HPC 10 without the 3 lattice panels showing. And the second is adding a 4th panel at your discretion that would match the existing 3, equidistant from the column on the left elevation.
Good.
That's my motion. Is there a second?
Yes, and I will second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion?
There's a motion on the floor.
So, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Carroll?
No.
Ms. Basagno? Ms. Wilson Stridig?
Yes.
Ms. Decker? No. Mr. Hammerin? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
So that motion fails.
So we need a new motion.
I will make the motion to stick with the project as is, with the 3 panels on one side and the panels on the other side eliminated.
I'll second that.
Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Basagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Stridig?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Thank
Those
you.
are permanently affixed, yes?
Yes.
Just to clarify.
Yep. Phew, okay.
All right.
They are
Thank you very
snapped
much.
with spruce.
That was
Thank you.
much ado about panels.
Yeah, much about lattice.
It's a great project.
Yeah, it is a great project. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on, please. Next application is for Cape Rock Condominium Association, 1520 New Jersey Avenue.
Mr. Chairman, as a result of proximity, I'm going to recuse myself from the Cape Rock.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as our applicant is coming to the table, I'd like to, with full disclosure, state that I've actually met with Mr. Tupper and his board on site at least twice. I think it actually has been 3 times.
I think so.
And Mr. Tupper and a couple of members of his board have also come before us in the review committee at least once. Was it twice or once? Just once. So with that said, if you could please tell us your name, your address, your role in the project.
Sure. Thank you. Ron Tupper, 1209 Cape May Avenue. I am also the president of the board of Cape Rock Condominiums at 1520 New Jersey Avenue. And as part of that role, I get to guide 76 unit owners in the selection of anything that we do at Cape Rock. And so as part of that, we have recognized a need to update the railings that we have at Cape Rock. And you can see in some of the pictures, the existing railings have gone through a few different boards over time. And so there is a variety of current rails, the far majority of which are galvanized metal that has been painted and is missing a fair amount of paint. And I would describe the area, and I'm guessing, by the way, I'm not going to get a lot of compliments on the quality of the submittal, and I apologize for that, but we didn't hire an architect to do plans to replace the railings. But I would direct you to the photographs, which show there are patios on the left and right, and a pool area in the middle, and then there are walkways for the second and third floor of the building. So you can see kind of from a distance, as well as close up, a variety of railing styles. Again, the far majority of which is galvanized metal. Over the past some number of years prior to my being on the board, various pieces of that railing were replaced with a tubular style, and my understanding is the guidance from the HPC at the time was, for instance, one of the walls of the pool, which you can't see from the street, was replaced with a tubular, but the rest was not allowed because it was visible from the street. So our proposal at this point is to replace all of the existing metal. So there a couple of ramps were updated very recently, and we feel it's kind of a waste to go ahead and throw that non-metal material out, but to replace all of the metal on the patios, the pool area, and the walkways with a vinyl product here. You can see here it's called a T-rail style. And we had a choice of caps, and we got guidance from the subcommittee that this cap was more preferable, and that this railing style was more preferable. And the general membership has voted their support of replacement of all the railings with this rail with this cap. And so we come here seeking your approval to do just that.
Okay. Mr. Tupper, I just have one really quick question, just a clarification before we open it up for questions.
Sure.
And that is the two details that were sent by Murphy Fence. There's only two of them, and they look like this. They have the Murphy Fence.
Yes, and that is clearly not to scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is the spacing between the spindles seems odd there?
Yes, that is, as I say, clearly not to scale. So the brick, where there are some brick piers, I would guess there to be 1 or 2 spindles within that dimension. They sent me over this drawing as the illustration. You can kind of see the existing metal curls around over top of that column. It is not a scale drawing.
So really, the purpose of this is just to show how the posts and
The posts go next to the brick, and then there's a,
brick pier,
that's exactly right.
but the spacing of the spindles is inaccurate.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Does this reflect the spacing of the?
It does.
It does, uh-huh.
I believe it's 3.5 inches, but it may be 4. Honestly, I don't recall.
We encourage our building code says it has to be 4 or less.
Yes.
And we usually encourage 3-inch opening for 1-inch spindles in the middle to give it the historic look that is up in that area of town.
So
Yeah.
I believe they're 1.5-inch spindles, but I do not have I apologize, a tape measure, a tape measure on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This is, by the way, courtesy of Murphy Fence, who tells me they've provided this product in multiple locations throughout the city.
Okay, so the spindles are 1.5 inches, the space between them is 3 7/8.
But
Okay.
they're seated, so you can't change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's,
It's a pre-manufactured.
that's right.
Well, that's good, because the spindles are bigger than just the inch. That looks too flimsy to have an inch, so an inch
Sure.
and a half really does give it the beef.
Sure.
And you're up in an area of town where all those big shingle-style homes have real heavy railings,
That is true.
which are, hold up to the storms, too.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Becker gave us guidance to go look at the streetscape, and so we took 25 pictures of other properties with, clearly no clear guidance as to what it should look like. But we believe that we at least need to make Cape Rock consistent throughout the property.
I think I'm going to make a move that we approve that for all the railings on the buildings and around the pool, knowing that the railings that are newer, that are to the staircases, would remain the same.
Can I get just clarification? The railings that are on the staircase that are going to remain the same, where is that on the property?
So in the center of
In the back, in the rear or the front?
No, sorry. So the rear is just one solid brick wall with windows to properties. I can't imagine
Kinda
they
towards the
appreciate Cape Rock being right behind them. It's not an attractive facade on the towards the beach block. But the front parking lot has a pool kind of in the center. There's basically 3 sections. Has a pool in the center, and the handicap, or the ADA walkway on the left has that tubular rail.
That would be on the other
Yeah.
on the other side of that building.
A point of interest, many years before that building was built, one of the owners in front of the, tried to get all the neighbors together to buy that land back there so that they could control what was going to happen to it, because they were afraid that a motel appearance would appear. So And I'm not picking on it.
No, no, listen.
That's exactly what did
if
happen.
If I am successful one day, I will arise for you in front of this board again and request permission for a
Demolition.
no, I will not be that, but a more attractive version of the building. Yep.
I didn't mean to put words in.
No. At some price, I'm sure, but that price is much higher than it would have been at that time.
Yeah, just to clarify, this is all on New Jersey Avenue.
I'm sorry?
Just to clarify, this is all on New Jersey Avenue.
It is all on New Jersey Avenue. That's well, I shouldn't say that. The end on Brooklyn.
Well, with the exception of the end.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Can I just-
Tom, I'll second your motion with a condition. A mandatory form in the packet was not completed, and that is the taxes.
Well,
Yeah. So it actually it has been done. I apologize. It was not done at the time of submittal. Again, there was 78 taxpayers, and the agreement we had was we would not be on the docket tonight if they had not all been satisfied,
Correct.
and they were all satisfied last Friday.
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
imagine
I would-
that's
I would-
78.
Simply because we don't have the actual document, I'd just like it to be as a form of order conditional upon
Yeah.
the
I think,
taxes being.
I talked with Deb Lindholm. She said she was bringing the document over across the hall on Friday. I apologize. I don't know where it sits. I was out of
It would be a
town.
Condition of a permit anyway.
Yep.
So, I have a question just on the sample that you've brought in.
Sure.
Is the spacing that we just measured and talked about, is that the proposed spacing that you're going to use throughout the site, or is there going to be something different?
I believe that is the manufactured product. So I don't think I can change the spacing on that. If you want to give guidance, I will certainly give guidance to Murphy, but I don't believe that is a changeable
I just want to
dimension.
be clear on what the board's voting on. We just, kind of hand measured that, and that, if that's okay to the board, that's fine. I just want to be clear about it, because
There is one page that has photograph 1 and photograph 2 that shows actually a lot more spacing between the
Yeah, so
railings.
those photos are of the pressure testing that they did to the railing system. So I can, it actually, if you look at their drawing, dimensionally actually says 3 7/8 spacing on the material drawing.
So Tom, would you
Let me
be,
make that part of the motion then? Sure. That the spacing be 3 7/8.
3.875.
3.75, and the balustrades themselves will be 1.5 inches.
Yes, I think that they are.
Is that okay with the second?
So I would just,
Yes.
I would ask for clarification that, yes, actually. Their printed document says 1.375, but they crossed it out to 1.5, so I believe that is.
Okay.
so there has been a motion and a second for approval of this submission with two conditions. One is that all payment of tax forms be on file. The second is that the spacing throughout be the same as this sample, which is 3.875 inches between 1.5 inch width spindles. So, sounds like a roll call vote's in order.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Bisagno? Yes. Ms. Wilson Tritick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand? Yes. Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Been at this a long time, Mr.
Yep.
Pepper, so-
Listen, I appreciate you are all volunteers. I have the pleasure of being the volunteer on the Cape Rock Board. I appreciate all of your time.
Thank you, sir. Next application is Nowakowski at 276 Windsor, Irrevocable Trust at 276 Windsor Avenue. If you could please state your name and your role in the project.
My name is Christopher Sexton. I am the sales rep for EMT Solar.
You want to keep it?
Okay. And- I'm sorry, what's your last name again?
Sexton, S-E-X-T-O-N.
Okay. Mr. Sexton, I think I can cut right to the chase here. Unfortunately, I don't think that we can entertain approval of this because virtually all sides of this roof are visible from the street. I made a little map here and made a little arrow from the street all the different locations where these roofs are visible, and they include the corner of Grant and Park, the corner of Windsor and Park, further east on Windsor, and actually also from Grant Street. So unfortunately, I was looking for a place on the site that you might be able to put PV panels that were not visible, and there's one small place.
Yeah.
And it's on the
the
shed
backs.
roof. And it's tiny, and only facing towards Windsor. Unfortunately, the roofs on this house are so prominent that you see all of them from basically everywhere.
Okay. Even that lower portion in the back there, if we were just able to do those, not on the top part?
I'm not quite sure where you mean. Do you have, you have them numbered. So are you talking about
Yeah.
MP3 and MP4?
Yes.
Unfortunately, no, because this roof is such a steep slope that you can see that in fact, that's actually quite prominent from Grant Park.
Oh, right, okay, I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about it from that way, I was just thinking about it from Windsor Street.
Well, that's the issue,
Yeah.
right? Because unfortunately, this is only the second house in from Park, so it's so open. I mean, as soon as you pull up Grant and are making that right to go up Park, it's like right in your face.
I mean, you need to stand virtually on all sides and look up and look around, and it just shows up.
Gotcha.
So I sat there for a while studying this, trying to figure out where could we, because we really want to encourage the use of as much renewable energy
Yeah.
supply as possible. Unfortunately, the position of this house and its roof configuration, I couldn't find a place. Maybe you can, but I couldn't.
I'm actually kind of relieved because he was on the deadline for the tax credit and, going through this process, if we get one failed inspection, he's I can't give him one, so I'm kind of relieved, half and half.
So, point of order. What's the action we need to take?
I think if there was some way to problem solve this, we would offer the applicant an opportunity to kind of reformat this and come back. But if it doesn't look like that,
No.
I think we should entertain a motion in favor of the application, and you can vote accordingly.
The only way that I would be able to redesign this would be to put it on the shed, but then the tree would have to be cut, which is another problem in itself.
You'd have an issue with the Shade Tree Commission at that point.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Mr. Sexton, right?
Yes.
Would you prefer to withdraw the application as opposed to us voting and denying it?
If that's,
Do you need to show your
You may
client
want,
that?
you may want an indication from the board on a
Yeah.
vote.
For your,
Ye-
for
yeah,
your
for
owner?
the customer,
For your
yeah.
owner, got it, okay. So, I would like to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Testa. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
No.
Ms. Bisagno? Ms. Wilson Tritick?
No.
Ms. Decker?
No.
Mr. Hammerin? Mr. Testa?
No.
Mr. Becker?
No, it's unanimous.
You got me excited when you
Yeah,
made the
dude.
motion. I was like, oh, he's going to approve it.
Sorry you had to sit through this whole meeting for
We're
that.
very positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Well, that gives you a record of denial. If you
Yeah,
show that.
absolutely.
You couldn't make it up the slope.
It's more than plausible denial, it's denial, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Unfortunately, you had to sit through the whole meeting for that. Oh, I know. This one? Oh, right. Yeah. Wait a minute, what are you looking at? Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's completely different. Okay, we have a final application from Waxman at 931 Corgi. Are you Mr. Waxman? I guess that's you.
It would appear by process of elimination, you are Mr. Waxman.
Okay, sir, if you could please tell us your name, your address, and your role on the project.
Gary Waxman, owner, 931 Corgi Street, Cape May.
The floor is yours, sir.
Appeared here, a little over a year ago, I guess. We received conceptual approval for a wooden shed in the rear of the property, shower enclosure, pavers to replace concrete. I believe even a fence, replacing chain link with wood. Let's see if there are any others.
So there are actually six components.
Yeah, there are also some exterior doors. There was a front door where we removed it was either metal or fiberglass. We put in a wood door, and 3 wooden storm doors around the property. So we were told to go back because there were some setback violations for the shed, in particular, non-conforming use. So we went to the zoning board, where we recently received a board resolution allowing the various, providing various variances for us to finish the project.
And Mr. Waxman, do you have a resolution number from zoning planning approval?
It's actually back here, John.
Is it?
I
didn't
think there's
see
a
it.
copy of the resolution.
There is a,
Yeah, see, part of the problem is the paperwork here doesn't exactly match up. This is your old submission over here. It's not been updated, but the resolution of the planning
Oh, yeah,
board
there it
here
is.
is actually part of.
the final,
Yeah.
it's toward the.
08/28/2025.
It
so
is.
I
So
apologize.
you got your planning board approval, but your face sheet acts like you don't even need it.
So just to be clear, Mr. Waxman, just want to make sure that we're understanding this application, because it was a challenge to try and understand the scope of what's happening here, just because it's been revised so many times. So I believe that you're asking for 6 components for us to approve. One is a fence, and that's along the side, front, and back, 3 different heights, right?
Yep.
Doors that I'm not quite sure where the locations are. Third is construction of a new shower enclosure. Fourth are new pavers to replace where the concrete is currently cracked. Fifth is a portion of a new deck, again, not quite sure where exactly that scope is. And sixth is construction of a new shed. Is that the entire scope?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a couple of quick questions. First of all, on the shed, given your contributing property, is the old shed part of the historic structure, or is it?
No, we approved
No.
removal of that
No.
a year ago. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The shed is partially constructed. We stopped.
And your plans on the shed are that it's all wood, that there's plastic siding to match the house, roofing material is the same.
Yes. Yep, either this, yeah. So it's in the rear corner of the house, yep. There were, I guess, hardware there for the shower. We just wanted to put 3 wooden sides with some wooden lattice, just a rough enclosure, yep.
Right. Yeah, I think the fence is the easy part.
Fence is easy.
There's nothing you can't do to improve a chain link fence and replace it with what you're
Yeah,
doing.
we completely agree. It's just, it's a bit of a project.
That one is, that's almost a win-win-win. And you show the cut sheet and all the other stuff. Part of the problem I have, aside from the location, is I don't see cut sheet identifications, for example, for the door.
Stone doors.
The doors.
Or the
and
fence.
I'm having, well, the fence, I'm willing to bet goes around the perimeter of the, but it
Yeah.
should,
But he shows a picture of his neighbor's fence.
yeah.
But with no dimensions or anything. That's. I saw one picture that shows his fence and the neighbor's fence.
Yeah, here it is.
And he says he's going to match the neighbor's. but-
See, one of the things that really helps us, if you do like a drawing of the property, if not the survey, then at least a sketch that shows us, and you got, you have some of the fence is shown and some isn't. I had a lot of trouble locating where things are going here.
So I have a proposal to make. If in order not to protract this conversation, I think the challenge that we're having, unfortunately, Mr. Waxman, is that The documentation that would be required for us to fully assess this simply isn't here in a clear way. So I would like to propose that perhaps we table this, if you would be willing to, so that that would give you an opportunity to submit the following 7 things. Ready?
I'm ready.
Right.
So the first would be a narrative that clearly describes the scope of work across all of these 6 components. The second would be, let's start with scope item number 1, which is the fence, is cut sheets from the manufacturer of exactly the fence you propose to install. And I believe that there are 3 different fences you're proposing. The 6-foot is a solid one, the 4-foot is picket like your neighbors, and I'm unsure what the
lower one in
the lower one in front is. So number 1 is a narrative, number 2 is cut sheets of all the proposed fence materials. 2, the doors. Cut sheets of the doors you are proposing, which would need to be wood, and a very clear indicator of where, maybe a floor plan, that indicates which doors are being proposed to be replaced. Third, which actually is also a requirement and a condition of your zoning requirement, are construction details with dimensions and materials cut sheets of the shower enclosure. So that would be item number 4. Shall I continue?
I think there was a mix-up here. I was provided with a copy of the submission by Ms. Keenan. I think it's the wrong one, because we've provided all this. This is
Oh.
what led to the conceptual approval.
So in other words, what is in this packet is not what you're proposing?
I believe that that was superseded. I showed up, I was given a copy that said, these are what you need to submit, and I don't think that's correct.
Okay,
Well,
so if,
that would be corroborated by the fact that what we're looking at says it's a 2024.
that's correct, yeah.
So we don't have the right papers in front of us.
It
at all.
appears that might be the case.
But this is helpful.
So shall I continue through this list, just so we have it on
You
record?
may, but for example, we gave cut sheets, designs of the doors. It was provided by Woodsmith, Taylor Smith. You know, we have cut sheets of
Well,
fences,
so that
sheds,
there's
everything.
2 separate, well, there's kind of 2, I would say, aspects of this. One is the cut sheets, but the other is really clarifying where you're proposing to do what and some construction details of what you're proposing. So if I could continue, then I would suggest, we already talked about the fence and the doors, the shower, again, construction details with the dimensions and materials you're proposing using, including cut sheets. Then the pavers. There is one site plan that kind of has a red color on it, but it's really hard to distinguish.
The paver material was approved as well previously.
Well, the paver material's approved, but the scope of where you're proposing to put the pavers is very unclear. We need to see that really, again, there's 2 purposes to this submission. One is so that we can understand it clearly enough that we can approve it. Second is, this set of documents is the set of documents that's given to our field inspector to ensure that what was approved is actually being installed on site. And when things are less clear, that just opens it up for all kinds of misinterpretation. That's why we're asking for very clear documentation, okay? The 5th is, I don't know what the scope of the deck replacement is, so again, an indication of where you want to replace the deck with cut sheets of the proposed materials. And lastly, the shed, construction details. What you've given us are construction details of a framing plan and kind of a floor plan, but unfortunately, there's no roofing materials, siding materials, or door cut sheets, at least in what we were given in this packet.
All previously submitted.
Okay, so we just need to get all that stuff from you.
So does this mean I come back before the full board again?
I believe that that would be the only way to do this because of the scope of the work. So what we're suggesting, if this would be acceptable to you, would be to table this application, and if our solicitor could explain the implications of that?
We just want to confirm that you'd be waiving the time for decision. The board can't really, if you submitted this stuff, it's not before the board tonight, and they need to see a complete application. So we would need to take this to the next meeting in order to fully consider the materials that you've indicated you submitted. So we'd be asking you to waive the time for decision, so the board wouldn't have to vote on an incomplete application tonight.
Seems fair.
If you don't waive that time, approval is automatic. So we have to ask you to waive it.
No,
To allow us to
that's
come to
fine.
the next decision. But it's just a matter of if the tabling will result in you submitting papers that comport with what we just said and
Yep.
handle it at the next meeting.
Yeah, the
Our
next meeting is.
3 weeks off.
Yeah, next meeting is exactly 3 weeks from tonight.
I do recall us having this exact discussion when you came in for conceptual, I think, too.
Yeah.
We
What
did.
just went through.
Yeah.
We did.
So wouldn't surprise me that there's a revised submittal out there.
Yeah.
But it's on a shorter time frame, earlier in the month, next month. You can come right back in and submit.
And Lauren, what would be the deadline for Mr. Waxman to submit the application in order to make the agenda for December 15th? Would that be Friday, December 5th?
Yeah, Friday, December 5th.
So that gives you all of this week and all of next week. Unfortunately, you have Thanksgiving in the way, right? But if you had a new,
If there are improved papers, if there are more
Right, if
recent
he already-
papers that he can
Correct.
put together from.
so if you would resubmit your application by a week from this Friday, December 5th, we could have it on the agenda for December 15th, if you were willing to table the current submission.
I am willing.
Then I will make a motion to table the application pending its resubmission and waiver by the applicant of the 45-day approval period.
I'll second it.
So moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Basagno?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson Shirdick?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand? Yes. Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. And Mr. Waxman, if it would help you at all, we have our review committee meetings on Tuesday mornings. We're going to have one tomorrow morning between 9 and 10:30. And if you'd like to come and chat about this a little further to get further clarification, you're more than welcome to do that. And if you even wanted to come in with what you have as a submission for us to review it, to see if it's complete, either tomorrow morning or a week from tomorrow morning, be happy to review that with you.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay, all you need to do then is just make an appointment with Lauren Emmerich there, and I think the time slots are 9, 9:30, 10, and 10:30.
Very good.
Sorry, you had
Thank
to
you
sit
all.
through the whole meeting for this.
Always good to see you.
Well, hopefully you won't be last.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your
we'll put,
patience.
yeah.
I hope not, but.
In fact, it would be considered old business.
It would be.
So
Thank you, Mr. Waxman.
All right, thank you all.
So I see nobody in the audience, so apparently we have no public comment. Would you have any public comments to make, Mr. Waxman?
Don't be cute.
None.
Okay, thank you. So let's open it up for discussion. I'm holding that there's only two things, but others may have things. So Janice, might you give us a brief update on the Historic Preservation Awards?
Well, we have identified 17 nominees, and we have our judges lined up. Lauren is getting the packets ready for us. So the building awards are moving along well. Lorraine has a date nailed down with the Shell Fund. Do you want to talk about that, Lorraine?
Sure. So May the 13th of 2026 at 7 o'clock. Put that on your calendar, save the date. That is going to be our award ceremony.
Beautiful. And it's at the Chalfont, right?
The Chalfont.
Yes.
So we're now working on the criteria for the Stewardship and Leadership Awards, which will be publicly collected. So the difference between the building awards, which are all projects that have come before the HPC in a certain time frame, leadership and stewardship are awards that we imagine we could do every year, the city could do yearly. And in terms of the building awards, we're working toward a simple, sustainable, easily tracked record of all the applications. So if you imagine that, instead of imagining ourselves as only critics of projects throughout the year, we're looking for, wow, this could be an award-winning project. Because one thing Pip seemed a little disappointed in when I talked to her recently was, based on the numbers this time, it seemed like we would only have enough good projects for an award every 3 to 5 years. And her comment, and I think our original feeling was, the more we can award projects, the better. So once we have a better sense of the excellence that's coming before us, and we're tracking it, and we have a simple process with jurors who are looking forward to doing it because they know what they're getting into, I think it should be a sustainable award program. And I love the idea that it can be another part of moving our dialogue with the community out of, oh, they're so difficult, or it's really hard, to, wow, look at that, and look at that, that was really great. And this is what we're trying to encourage. So, Judy, did you have anything to add about the committee?
No, just about maybe the leadership and the stewardship awards that we were revisiting at our last meeting, which will be not judged by the jury.
Right.
But internally. So anyone who has any ideas about those two awards, we'd appreciate any feedback.
Yeah, we're going to try to get the word out through publicity and on the website and circulate it among the boards, maybe a letter asking for nominations. And those nominations will be simple but clear, requiring photograph, a little bit of history, support. Coming into the office, Lauren will keep them, and then probably in February or March, we would do the decisions. We're still kind of working out the details on that.
We should have that, for the most part, I would think, at our next meeting.
Yeah, we're going to meet again in 2 weeks.
Yep.
We meet a week before
The HPC meeting, so we should have a lot of that kind of pinned down. But really start thinking about okay, and we were also looking with stewardship, the length of time somebody has had that stewardship, but also, is it the committee that should look at possibly judging that or coming back to the full HPC? For both stewardship and leadership. So just think about it.
Thoughts? Questions?
Just a big thank you. It's been a
Not
huge-
done yet.
No, it's been a huge, it's been a huge effort.
Janice has worked tirelessly on
Yeah.
this and done a fantastic
Well,
job.
I'm excited about having a database of projects and figuring out how the database should work. Because one of the questions I had when I was asked to be on this commission was I wanted to be able to look at what has come before and how, sort of the numbers, and understand the data. And the data is not that complex once we figure out what we're looking for. I mean, I said at the previous meeting we had 110 possibilities, but then we weeded out the ones that were just fences or roofs or had not gotten their COs or hadn't even been started.
Yeah.
And the more we're in touch with how projects are approved and then how they're moving forward, the more congruent or at least me personally, my approach to every month's packet will be more knowledgeable if I kind of have a better sense of what's going on.
We both came on this commission at the same time.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a very important thing to you to improve the image of the HPC and its relationship with all those people who are applying for, going through the process, perhaps misunderstanding, and I just think that this is, it goes a part of way, a long way really, in improving where we are in terms of recognizing the importance of what people are doing and showing some appreciation for it. And I know how that is important to you and certainly important to us, but so hardly anybody who could do a better job in that,
Thanks.
that respect.
Well, I have a great team, and Kevin.
Yeah, you really have a bunch of slackards,
And
slaggards
Kevin and
there.
John helped us
That's
with
great.
the marathon culling.
Yeah, well, we all know Judy is about 102 octane on this, so.
I think it's very exciting that we're,
Oh.
reigniting this awards program. I think it's going to be great. I think we'll get a great turnout, and it's turning a leaf for us. I think it's really,
How long had you served as secretary before you joined this august body?
it would have been, I think, 4 years in October.
So I was just going to add that your perspective of seeing a gazillion applications and siphoning through them and talking to us about them gives you enormous perspective for that, for that role. So again, we're really appreciative.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw some nice applications this evening and some things that clearly weren't going to fly, but, we'll keep them in mind for next time, whether it's 3 years or 5 years or 2 years. It depends on how many applications we have. But, I think John said this would be a standing committee. So after the awards, we'll maybe look for different members and keep it going, because Janet has really made a great rubric. Is that what it is?
Well, we're
The
trying to make it
process.
Simple, and I also
Yeah.
think it's a great place for bringing in a few people possibly from the community who might be potential members of the HPC.
Yeah, particularly if they're young folk.
Younger people, oh, yeah, well, I have my one
There-
person.
there you go with age
but she doesn't
discrimination.
come in.
No, just getting the perspective of a younger,
We do have one person. She's just in school. She's just not available that much, but maybe next year.
would that be Hannah?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been sitting in on a couple of the Tuesday morning sessions.
Great.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for all this. I think it's fabulous work. And guys, we need to give Janice a hand. She's been working tirelessly. I just have one other thing. Wanted to give you guys a very quick, very brief update on the Columbia Capstone project. It's really quite remarkable. This set of professionals, so remember, these are not college students, these are graduate students who are actually practicing professionals in their field. And essentially what they're doing is they are assessing the intersection between climate resilience and historic preservation. And they've divided up their capstone project into assessing 3 different aspects of this. One is, what is the economic value of our historical status and resilience? In other words, what is our historical status and resilience worth? Second is, what is the social value? What maintaining the historical legacy is worth? And then third, what are some technical solutions to preserving and I would say harmonizing, if you will, climate resilience with sometimes it appears to be in conflict with historic preservation. So I think this could actually be a pretty good roadmap of ways for us to be interpreting and thinking about this. I've sat in with, I think, 3 calls now. We had 2 since our last meeting where the students made initial findings presentations, and I believe that the next to final presentation will be sometime in the second week of December. So that's something that they're going to do online with us. And it's primarily, the participants from the city have been a lot of folks, but it's primarily led by Justine McGarl. And Paul has been very involved. And Lorraine, you've been involved quite a bit as well. So I will let you know as soon as I have a definitive date and time, and encourage all of you to join that, because I know that a couple of you, Kevin, you were there when they were here in October, and Janice, you were here, and Chris, you were here too, right?
I may have been, but I was just going to say, I think there's going to be a presentation.
There is.
At the next week's
Yeah.
council meeting.
Oh, there is?
Yes, so Justine will be there, not the Columbia students, but Justine will be there, so.
To give us an update?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's going to provide some additional information, a presentation, so if anybody could
So a
be.
council meeting worth attending.
It would be a council meeting worth attending.
So-
That'll be on December 1st.
December 1st.
December 1st.
Second.
Monday or
The 1st, oh, I'm sorry, the 2nd, which is a Tuesday. Thank you.
And what time is it? 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 now.
Okay. So I just have to say that the value of what we are receiving from this capstone project is immense. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of research being done and given to us. It's quite remarkable. So, all right, that's all I have. Anybody else have any open or items that you'd like to discuss?
Not an open item officially, but having just visited both Charleston and Savannah, I would urge everybody to go take a vacation. It's remarkable to see, along the eastern seaboard at least, the dedication to historic preservation that exists in both of those cities. I felt smaller, but right at home in terms of what we do and what goes on there.
So before I adjourn, I just have a thank you to, since this is a week of giving thanks, I have gratitude to all of you for the effectiveness and efficiency and kindness with which we have been conducting these meetings. Tonight was a great example of it. Even when we don't agree, we're able to come to resolutions that are, I think, helpful to us and to our constituents, so thank you all for that.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. All right, let me ask.